Welcome back, everyone. This is part 3 of the King's Castle. King James, along with Blair Chopin and Pete Kohlberg. Switching gears here. It's now time to talk about the other side, because this Sunday, live on WWE Network and pay-per-view, we're going to have Smackdown Live's No Mercy.
Yes, Mercy.
Mercy. Now, before we talk about the main event, which is the triple threat, we got to touch on something that I first brought up last week off camera, and that is Dolph Ziggler will get one more shot at The Miz and his Intercontinental Championship, but this time it's title versus career.
Oh.
Because if Ziggler loses, he's forced to leave WWE. Now, that in itself
can't do that.
That in itself is tough enough. But last week on SmackDown Live, Miz, in my opinion, crossed the line when he used his talk show segment, Miz TV, to present what was known as a Dolph-umentary. And he reunited Dolph Ziggler
That's pretty creative.
with two of his former teammates from the faction known as the Spirit Squad, which ultimately backfired in Dolph's face because Kenny and Mikey came out there and started attacking him with the megaphones while Miz was beating him up with his bare hands. So in my opinion, Miz is just playing head games, but Ziggler's really put his back against the wall here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand desperation, but why in the world would you want to put up your own career for something as crazy as a belt? I mean, I can understand doing something like that if the storyline got personal, but just for a title match? No way!
We went over this last week. It's so the match could get more interest, because you wouldn't normally be interested in a Dolph Ziggler. Anything, yeah. By the way, is Dolph Ziggler's real name Dolph?
No, his real name's Nicholas.
Because I was going to say, I
That's
couldn't
why
imagine.
he was who was named on Spirit Squad, right?
Yeah, Nikki.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine growing up named Dolph.
Because for those of you who don't know,
That'd be pretty awful.
hey, I have to do this. For those of you who don't know, the Spirit Squad went by the names Kenny, Johnny, Mitch, Nikki, Mikey!
Boo.
That's for you WWE historians who actually like the Spirit Squad.
Take off your top. Boo.
Of which I am not one.
I was going to say all two of them that like the Spirit Squad.
Actually, it's funny story about that. I actually remember the night that the Spirit Squad made their debut on.
I remember the day
on
the music
Raw
died.
because I was there that night.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw it happen.
You were raw dogging it?
No, I was ringside on Raw in Charlotte, and it was a match between Jonathan Coachman and Jerry the King Lawler to see who would get the final spot for the Royal Rumble that year. And the Spirit Squad comes out there and starts doing all these crazy chants to be biased towards Jonathan Coachman.
You can't be biased towards Coachman.
And that enabled Coach to get the victory. But the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, who the heck are these guys?
Failed high school cheerleaders. Simple.
I mean, and I really didn't think the gimmick was going to work, but it lasted at least a year for them as a faction, so...
A year?
Yeah, at least.
The greatest year of my life.
I was going to say it was the worst year, but...
But I thought it was bad enough that they brought that back. But I think Dolph's back is against the wall here, but we'll have to see what happens come Sunday. But anyway, now to the main event.
James, I got a question for you, though.
Yeah?
What do you think of Vanilla Ice not evacuating from his home in South Florida?
And being eliminated last week?
Could we lose Vanilla Ice
I hope not.
To the Hurricane.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that we did lose him on Dancing with the Stars, which I'll talk about later
Hated that.
in the What's Hot segment.
I've got something to say, too, before we get to the main event.
Okay.
I've got something to say about the Dolph Miz match.
Okay.
I don't think Dolph will go away for good. I don't. I think he's got something else going on, whether that's a movie,
Right.
whatever it is.
Do you think?
And this is all storyline
Right.
for him to go off for, say, 6 to 8 months.
But let me ask you a question. We've seen superstars quit for whatever reason and then jump ship. So do you think he may jump to TNA?
No.
It's a possibility,
No.
but I doubt it.
No. Also, I would argue with Pete's point only because that makes sense, but I'm not sure if the Dolph
You would
Ziggler.
argue that it makes sense?
I think it makes sense, like if it's like a huge star.
Right.
Like, all right, we'll let you have off 6 to 8 months to do what you got to do. Like if it was The Rock, but this is just mid card guy Dolph Ziggler.
Well,
so why wouldn't the WWE just be like, get the hell out of here?
Well,
Like,
maybe
you're
he's
gonna take
injured
6 to
too.
8
That's
months.
why I said 6 to 8 months.
Yeah,
'Cause maybe
if he was
there's an
injured, it would
injury that we don't know about.
Right.
If he was injured, it would make more sense for sure.
Maybe he has to walk and get his hair cut. I don't know.
But anyway,
Maybe his feelings are hurt because too many people are
actually, before we get to the main event, there are a couple other things we need to touch on, including the match for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. Just a bold prediction here. It's going to be Rhino and Heath Slater defending against the Usos.
Usos
Now-
before hoes.
Now, I have to admit, before that SmackDown Tag Team Tournament started, I didn't think either of these teams were going to be considered mainframe as far as SmackDown. But I gotta say, ever since the Usos' little attitude change where they attacked American Alpha during their tournament match,
Turned into jerks.
yeah, I think the Usos have become a likable heel. So therefore, I'm giving the edge to the Usos here.
See, I don't know. I kind of see Rhino and Heath Slater.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Ledger. Coming back from the dead.
I told you, man, Ledger died in 2009.
From AIDS. From
Brokeback Mountain.
No,
Terrible joke.
no,
Might kick us off the internet.
probably from. I think I heard he died from heart failure, but I have
Yeah,
no
he
proof
did.
of that.
He did. I saw it.
He OD'd, right?
Yeah. Had
Yeah, that's
multiple pills in his system.
Yeah, but anyway,
But what I was saying with the Rhino thing, or Rhino Heath Slater,
Yeah.
is Rhino has that spear, like Randy Orton,
Or
the
he calls the
RKO,
gore.
and just right,
yeah,
and just comes out of nowhere.
yeah.
So
Oh, you think it's going to be a surprise gore?
So you
Al Gore.
you say Rhino, but in short, you say Rhino and Slater.
Yes.
Now, another match.
If it was a surprise
Speaking
outdoor,
of-
that'd be very exciting.
Yes.
Speaking of
Randy viewership.
Speaking of Randy Orton, we have Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt going one-on-one. Now, if you remember, this was supposed to take place at Backlash, but then, of course, there was that backstage attack, so the match never took place. And Kane actually won a match against Bray Wyatt thanks to Randy Orton. But over the past few weeks, we've seen Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt continue to play head games with one another, including Orton stealing one of Eric Rowan's masks
That was great.
and using it to sneak into the compound and attack Bray Wyatt a couple of weeks ago.
That was great.
And then last week, we saw something that was even more bizarre, which was Randy Orton locking Bray Wyatt in a storage garage in the back area, and apparently Bray Wyatt attempting to communicate with his late sister Abigail.
Oh.
I don't know what to make of this, but in my opinion, Randy Orton stepping straight into the proverbial lion's den come no mercy. I mean, why in the world would you challenge a lunatic like Bray Wyatt anyway?
Maybe he's a big maybe. And as much as I like Randy Orton, maybe Randy Orton has that lunatic kind
He
of
likes pain.
mentality. Although I do have to say, I would say
no pain, no gain.
Exactly. I would say that match for a Hell in a Cell match.
I agree with you.
Think about it? How great would that be to see Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell?
That's what I dream about every night.
I thought so. Don't you think that'd be a good match?
I think it would be a good match. James, you're outnumbered here.
It could be.
Me, Pete,
Which
Jesus.
is why I'm kind of surprised that the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is actually a Raw exclusive, and it's not a joint production of Raw and SmackDown. But that would be a good HIAC match.
Oh.
Yeah. You had
Well, then they need to do what.
See, that's
Swagger.
where James. That's a time where abbreviations do you no good. Because the abbreviation took everyone so long to figure out.
Then they need to do what Jack Swagger did. Then one of them
Now,
needs
Jack
to go
Swagger.
back to
That's
Raw.
a porn star name.
Exactly. One of them needs to go back to Raw.
So you mean after Swagger jumped to SmackDown since his contract expired on Raw?
Yes.
More like Jack off Swagger.
Again, Mr. Chopin, family show.
Wait, this isn't Blair Chopin talking.
It's just some random voice.
Yeah.
Well, who is it?
It's Jack off Swagger.
Who actually is in a real good rivalry now, I think.
With Baron Corbin, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that idea. But anyway, getting
What if he was in a rivalry with Baron Trump?
I'm not even going to respond to that. Anyway, getting back to the No Mercy pay-per-view for a minute. The SmackDown Women's Championship. It'll be Becky Lynch defending against Alexa Bliss. You guys think the fiery redhead from Ireland can take it?
I do. I think she's going to snap Alexa like a twig.
And now we recently found out that Carmella will actually face Nikki Bella one-on-one at No Mercy as well.
Go Nikki.
I hope.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that was kind of...
I gotta admit, Nikki's kind of been on a losing streak ever since SummerSlam. Or excuse me, she hasn't won a match since SummerSlam. At least one-on-one, either because she keeps getting attacked or because somebody else keeps sneaking in and stealing it.
Preferably Carmella.
Yeah. So, I gotta go with Nikki on this one. Blair?
I'm gonna go with Wanda Sykes. Because I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh no, you didn't!
Alright, James, what random show was Wanda Sykes randomly a guest actress on a lot?
Reno 911?
Well, maybe she was, but I always thought Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I thought so too.
She was on that.
Wait, I thought Curb Your Enthusiasm was a movie.
No,
it was a TV show before it was a movie. It was an HBO TV show.
No,
it was Entourage, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Which was
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David had a comedy special titled that. That was a movie, and then it became a TV show.
Yeah.
But I think it's coming back.
I think the king's getting his wires crossed here, folks. We apologize.
What?
That means I don't really know what you were talking about there.
Okay.
I
had to interject with something random.
Anyway, the main event: Styles, Ambrose, Cena, WWE title.
I'd give the edge to Cena.
Why?
Ooh.
Just because he is chasing history. He's gonna if he wins, he will have been a 16-time world champion.
And tie Ric Flair's record.
Exactly.
Woo.
So I think in a way that would be
That
good.
wasn't an authentic woo. It's
kind of a
woo.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. My voice is too deep.
All right, we gotta wrap it up, guys.
But honestly, I think it would do.
Hold on,
15 seconds.
It would do better for SmackDown if Cena won.
Me too. I agree. Blair?
All right, we got it.